Hello friends, this is Steve here once again at the Life and Sad Ending channel. Today we're taking a very special look at that famous actor, Montgomery Clift. Edward Montgomery Clift was born on October 17th in 1920 in Omaha, Nebraska. He was called Monty by his family and friends. His father, William Brooks Clift, was the president of Omaha National Trust Company. His mother's name was Ethel. Monty had a twin sister and a brother. During the Great Depression, Clift's father fell on hard times. Unemployed and broke, he was forced to move his family to a new, more modest life in Sarasota, Florida. Clift couldn't adjust well to school and never went to college. At the age of 13, Clift started acting with a local theater company. His mother was impressed by her son's commitment to the stage and encouraged him to pursue his craft. Shortly after the family moved to Massachusetts, he auditioned and won a part in the Broadway play Fly Away Home. The family moved again, this time to New York City. Over the next decade, he appeared in several other Broadway productions, including There Shall Be No Night, The Skin of Our Teeth, and Our Town, among others. Along with Marlon Brando and James Dean, Clift was one of the original method actors in Hollywood. He studied at the Actors Studio with Lee Strasberg. Monty did not serve during World War II, having been given a 4F status after suffering dysentery in 1942. At the age of 25, Clift moved to Hollywood. His first film role was with John Wayne in the western Red River in 1948. It was a big hit and nominated for 2 Academy Awards. His second movie was The Search, which premiered in the same year, and he was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Actor. Clift signed on for his next movie called The Heiress, but he was unhappy with the script and didn't get along with most of the cast. The studio marketed Montgomery Clift as a sex symbol prior to the movie's release in 1949. Clift's performance in A Place in the Sun in 1951 is regarded as one of his signature method acting performances. He worked extensively on his character and was again nominated for an Academy Award for Best Actor. For his character scenes in jail, Clift prepared by spending a night in a real state prison. Montgomery Clift was emblematic of an entirely new kind of leading man, being sensitive and vulnerable. The studio celebrated his heartthrob status, and gossip columnists constantly linked him with Elizabeth Taylor, though she was just a close friend. According to Clift's brother, it was likely that Monty was either bisexual or gay. In 1953, he was featured in 3 films: Alfred Hitchcock's I Confess, Terminal Station, and From Here to Eternity, which earned Clift his 3rd Oscar nomination. On the evening of May 12, 1956, while filming Raintree County, Clift was involved in a serious crash when he apparently fell asleep while driving and smashed his car into a telephone pole after leaving a dinner party at the Beverly Hills home of his close friend and co-star Elizabeth Taylor and her husband Michael Wilding. Alerted by friend Kevin McCarthy, who saw the collision, Taylor raced to Clift's side, pulling a tooth out of his tongue as he began to choke on it. He suffered a broken jaw and nose, a fractured sinus, and several facial lacerations, which required plastic surgery. After 8 weeks of recovery, Clift returned to the set to finish the film. Although the results of Clift's plastic surgeries were remarkable for the time, they were noticeable. He really did look different after the accident. Unfortunately, the left side of his face was almost completely immobile. The pain led him to rely on alcohol and pills for relief, and he never physically or emotionally recovered from the car accident. He continued to work over the next 10 years, appearing in Lonely Hearts and The Young Lions in 1958, Suddenly Last Summer in 1959, and Wild River, released in 1960. Clift then co-starred in The Misfits in 1961, which was the final film of both Marilyn Monroe and Clark Gable. Clift's last nomination for an Academy Award was for the Best Supporting Actor for his role in Judgment at Nuremberg in 1961. By the time Clift was making Freud and The Secret Passion in 1962, his self-destructive lifestyle and behavior was affecting his health. At this point, the film studios no longer offered him parts. In 1966, thanks to Elizabeth Taylor's efforts on his behalf, he was signed on to star in Reflections in a Golden Eye with Taylor, but it was not to be. Sadly, on July 23, 1966, Montgomery Clift was found lying in his bed dead, with eyeglasses still on and both fists clenched by his side. He was only 45 years old. The autopsy reports indicated the cause of death as a heart attack brought on by occlusive coronary artery disease. No evidence was found that suggested foul play or suicide. His funeral was attended by 150 guests, including Lauren Bacall and Frank Sinatra. Montgomery Clift was buried in the Friends Quaker Cemetery, Prospect Park, Brooklyn. Elizabeth Taylor, who was in Rome, sent flowers. Elizabeth Taylor later called Monty her closest friend and confidant. Yes, Montgomery Clift was one of the great stars of the golden age of Hollywood. What was your favorite picture that he appeared in? I'll see you again next time, unless I come to my own sad ending.